Disclaimer. This video, like all videos featured on this channel, is definitely intended for mature audiences. This video is likely to contain profane language. Content is inappropriate for minors. Video is not for kids.
And you know what it is. It's the Dr. Greenthumb Show live on Twitch, Discord, YouTube, Kick, X, and the home site, www.brealtv. Oh, we got a special guest in the building with us today. My man, Caskey, up in here.
Thanks for having me.
Word up. Yeah. And we are joined by the Treehouse crew, Rah Rah, and the Dominator.
What up, y'all?
And the illustrious Son Doobie in the building. Welcome to it, man. Hey, good to have you up in here.
Honored, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
So much, man. Appreciate it, for real.
I gotta tell you, I was listening to some of the music, and like knowing where you came from originally was content about the tattoos and shit.
Yeah,
like that,
yeah.
right. And realizing that you had this, this other talent to get on the mic and flip and killing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Gotta say, man.
Oh, man.
Great transition.
Yeah, thank you. Hearing you say I kill it is an honor, dude.
Oh, yeah.
You're one of the GOATs, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What was that moment that you knew you could flip it? Instead of it, because you know how some motherfuckers just try it to do content and then they go on to the next shit.
Yeah, I started rapping in high school. I was always into metal. That's we were talking about that, but not old school metal. I heard Black Sabbath's Paranoid album for the first time 3 years ago.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So but when I was growing up, I was into the underground hardcore scene and screamo.
That more crazy.
Oh man, violent metal.
Yeah.
So
Grindcore
I always
type shit.
Yeah. And so I always, when my dad would play AC/DC or something, I'm like, this ain't metal. That was my.
That's rock.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was always into metal, but then I tried being in bands in high school, but we were all just drug addicts and shit like that, so we never were disciplined enough to do a lot. And I had some homies that were in some really good bands, but then through smoking weed I just started me and my friends were just freestyling as a fun thing when we'd hotbox. But then I just fell in love with it. My sister played me a Nas album or something, and I was like, oh man, I was actually I'm really into this. I think growing up I didn't think I was I didn't think I had this story to be a rapper, I guess, because when you're new and you're a young kid, you think of things in a one-dimensional thing. But then I heard certain artists and I was like, oh man, I really do got a lot of shit to say. And I just once we started freestyling, my other friends kind of fell off the wave, but I found a studio and I just started doing this all the time. And I remember this story where my dad, when he was still alive, he was like, you've been gone for a lot, missing after school and shit. He thought I was getting into, I was already into bad shit, but he was getting suspicious. And he's like, what you been up to? And I brought him into the truck and I was like, put the CD in. It was my first mixtape.
Oh, wow.
And he was it was the first time I ever felt my dad was really proud of me.
Yeah.
He was a tough dude, big 300-pound biker, sports player. He was a G.
Yeah.
And I just always looked at him as something I couldn't be. He just felt better at everything than me.
Yeah, yeah.
And music was the one thing that I did that he didn't do. And it was the first time that I could see him be wow.
Because he actually heard you.
Yeah, yeah. And
what I mean?
when he passed away a year later, the deck was still in the truck.
That's
the
awesome.
only thing he played.
He was listening to
and it was terrible. It was garbage. It was your first raps are bad,
But to him it showed promise.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I think it was just he was blown away that his son did something like this, and it was that sent me on the path.
Yeah.
I think seeing him be psyched, and then he ended up committing suicide like a year later.
Sorry to hear
And
that.
yeah, it's okay. But that was that. Then I really felt like I had something to say.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh yeah, like this is. And I was also like, when you're a young kid and like you lose a parent or something like that, I didn't give a fuck. I can cuss on here?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't give a fuck about anything else. Like I was like, fuck school, fuck getting a job, fuck everything, dude. And I was like, I'll be a homeless guy on a motorcycle before I go do anything else. And I was like, I'm just gonna make music. And like did like one semester of college, dropped out, got in a motorcycle accident, dropped out, and just gave my life to rap. And like, it's just, I don't know, man.
Gave yourself to the music.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you have to do, like
Yeah.
that, like a lot of us that have been doing this from way back, right? We never had in our minds the backup plan. Like, what if this doesn't work?
Yeah.
It was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
It's got to work. We're going to make it work.
Yeah, anytime anybody even asks me advice, I'm like, what else do you do? And if they do something else, I'm just like, never mind. I don't even want to talk to you.
Right.
I would have rather, like, been broke my whole life and just only did music. Like, it was the one thing that made me, like, envision myself older, Yeah,
yeah.
When I was young, I was like, I'm probably going to die young or something. I saw you got into music after you got shot.
Yeah, I was gangbanging.
Were you doing any music before that?
Well, okay, so before I got into the gang shit, we were into hip hop heavy. We were like B-boys and shit like that. And the way that it was happening back then is that you might have started somewhere in the hip hop culture, but you end up somewhere else, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in the beginning, it was, for me, it was B-boying and popping. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that was my
yeah.
my first action in it. I was listening to it, and I got away from the metal and started getting into the hip hop culture, and I started doing that shit right there. And eventually that turned into, maybe let me try this rap shit, because I was writing poems and stuff like that. And Mello, Sendog's brother, showed me how to make that shit a rap.
Yeah.
And so it went down like that. But beforehand, I was gangbanging. Or actually after that, like I kind of got away from it. These guys kept it going, and I fell in with my homies on the block, and I was banging there, and I was pretty much at the point that all dudes that like get involved in the gangs get when they're like totally washed in terms of like the belief system in what we're doing here, right?
Yeah, you start to like
you start saying like, I ain't gonna be shit. This is what I am.
Oh, okay.
And I'm holding down this block. I'm holding down this hood.
Yeah.
So these guys, Sendog and Muggs and Mello, they would come every now and then frequently to check on me on the block.
Yeah.
Because they knew me before I was gangbanging, right? So they'd come and fucking see and try to, get me to come to the studio. And I'd always be like, what are we gonna do in the studio? Man, we ain't gonna make no money off this rap shit. I'm like,
it seems far-fetched.
I'm hustling bags over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like, man, what do you got to lose? Just, come on and try it. And one day, one day I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna shut down shop. Let me go to the studio with these guys. And that day, it was when Mello was he was in the Delicious Vinyl Studio, which wasn't even a real studio, but at the time to us, it was a real studio.
Yeah. If there's a mic,
there was a mic, the recording shit there. It was a studio, right? So to me, that was my first studio experience was being in Delicious Vinyl Studio, watching these guys, like create Mello's first shit, and then. Young MC and Tone Loc come in the building who are like, they're fucking stars at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm like blown the fuck away. I'm like, oh shit, these motherfuckers are in here.
Yeah.
And that's where it got me. Like I started wanting to be in the studio more than on the street and shit.
Well, it starts to expand your like worldview in a way.
Yeah,
like, you could see a different life for yourself.
Yeah, I had already been shot. And what happens is when when you're gangbanging and you get shot and you live through it, you start believing bullshit like
I'm a superhero.
Yeah,
yeah, like I'm invincible.
Yeah, and a lot of us have that fucked up mentality, which eventually gets us killed later. You know what I'm saying? Fortunately, though, after that, as I'm on the mend, that's when these guys come to me and say, "Hey, come to the studio with us. We need help with this song."
Yeah.
Because they knew I was kind of decent with the writing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, you know, they brought me in, and that's when I had that experience with these fucking guys, and I was like, oh, shit. I kind of like this studio shit.
Yeah.
And I realized right then, kind of like, you know, in that moment saying, well, I ain't going to do nothing but this.
Yeah.
And that's when it happened for me.
Yeah, it changed my life. Like the first studio that I went to was just in an apartment. This dude, Ebo the Sicko, that I found on MySpace, my dog, still to this day. And I found him on MySpace because I was like, where do people record at? Like, I want to record something. And I found this dude named Young Bo that was like in Sanford that was like a local celebrity. And I was like, where do you record at? And he was like, this dude, Ebo the Sicko. And I went to his apartment, and there was nothing in the apartment but the studio.
Word.
And I was like, and when I say studio, I mean a Scarlett and a mic and a computer.
You know it's gonna be a hit.
Yeah, and I was like, this is awesome. And I spent every day there, like literally every single day after school for the rest of my time at school, basically. Yeah,
man. It's crazy when you make that decision though. Like you know what the path is at that point. Yeah. And you can't have the backup plan, because if you have a backup plan, it starts putting a little bit of doubt.
You start to like rationalize, like this could be easier. You start to have these backup plans and be like, maybe I'll just do this for now.
You might even put a number on it, like I'm going to do this for another year, and if it doesn't pop, I'm going to go back to doing X, Y, or Z.
Yep.
And that's when you totally fuck yourself.
Yeah, even when I had like the idea of like, oh man, maybe in 5 years if this doesn't take out, like it never took off to the, like I'm still chasing this, you know, pinnacle. But every year something would happen that I would be like, oh, this is awesome. Like what, you know, I got signed to like Birdman when I was like 19. Shit. And I was like, oh, I'm him. Like this is all I'm doing. Like I knew I was right. And I've just had these like little moments along the way where I was like, I'm never doing anything.
Keep boosting your confidence and the building blocks to like, you know, on your road to being an artist. Or just, you're already on the road. It's just being the artist and evolving and growing and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Best decision I ever made, man.
Hell yeah, man.
I don't know what I would be doing, you know, otherwise. Didn't want to do anything else.
Yeah, man. It's crazy when you find the lane that you're gonna be in.
Yeah. And now it's just turned to like music in general. Like I've like branched out and tried other genres and like done stuff like that, and I'm still inspired to do that. But I just like fell in love with music. What's funny, we were talking about you were talking about being inspired by Black Sabbath and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So like when I was growing up, it was just hardcore, deathcore, stuff like that. Ooh. A couple years ago, my girl's my wife now. She was like putting me on Led Zeppelin, and I was like, man, I've like heard the hits, obviously, if anything, but I was like, oh wait, this is crazy.
Yeah, the catalog is
and then I was on a tour and started putting on like Black Sabbath and AC/DC and Fleetwood Mac and all this stuff, and so I had this like, you know, at 30, I had this like plethora of music that I had never even dove into, because there's so much music out there. I was consumed with hip hop and like, you know, hardcore. I'm still discovering that.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God, this stuff that has withstood the test of time and are these like huge hits. And I was like, I get it. And I just like fell in love with this whole other side. And like now that's inspired like a whole new wave of songwriting from me, because I'm like, oh, I'm listening to stuff that's been inspiring people for like 40 years.
Yeah, generations.
Yeah, and I'm like just now finding out about it. I'm like, growing up, I always thought it was like a downside that I didn't have like a real musical household. Like, I don't know, my parents just like they played the radio, you know, and like my dad had like 2 CDs. I got him a Young Jeezy CD when I was in middle school, and that was all he played. Like my dad was like, just listen to one thing all the time. So I like bought him a Young Jeezy CD, and he was like, oh, this is awesome. I think that was the first rap CD he had ever got.
Oh, word. Okay.
And but like my dad was like, he was like a biker construction dude, but he sold drugs, and he had a long history of selling drugs.
Like a hustler,
Yeah, so when he heard Young Jeezy, he was like, oh, this is...
He could relate to
exactly. It. So that was all he played. And so I just didn't have a lot of musical influence growing up. It was my sister. Like, my sister put me on Cypress Hill, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Nas, Eminem. Just everything. Like, my sister was a music head, you know? And so it's like I would have never fell in love with it without her. It was like her forcing it down me. Like I remember being like in first grade and her playing Weak Ass Bitch by 3 6 Mafia. And this is like when I'm a little kid, so I'm in the car like, whoa, this is scary. Like, this is scary music, you know? And it's like, but she just was always playing hip hop. And so that was like the only thing I listened to for like most of my life.
That is dope.
All forms of rap and hip hop.
Older sister put you on to the shits.
Dude, she had a CD binder like this big, just racks and racks. Every Cypress Hill CD, every Bone Thugs Harmony CD, every 50 Cent, Nas, underground shit that no one's ever. Eminem's first mixtape, like, and I would just like steal it from her and ride around and just like sell weed listening to just random shit.
Oh, that's dope, man.
Yeah. Made me fall in love with music, man.
That's dope.
Hey, music makes the fucking world go round.
Yeah, my sister's actually gonna trip out that I'm hanging out with you. She's like, I can't wait to hit her afterwards and be like, guess who I just did podcast with? She's gonna be like, shut the fuck up. Like,
shout out to sis.
Like, shout out to my sister, bro. She's like the real stoner posters in the room and Snoop Dogg and Cypress Hill and like Tool and like just she had like a real eclectic taste. You know?
Yeah. Hey, salute to the older sisters that put the younger brothers on to the hip hop.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, because I would have ended up listening to like Backstreet Boys or whatever was on whatever was on the radio. Like I don't know. I didn't know how to discover it. And then Napster came out.
Wow.
I saw a thing that you guys did a tour where Napster made it free.
Yeah, it was Limp Bizkit's tour. They asked us to come on with us.
The Cages.
Yeah, and they held free shows.
Dude.
And it was nuts every night.
Yeah.
It was crazy. And Bizkit, partnered up with Napster for that. They threw free shows. And
well, I liked your take on it because it seemed like you didn't give a fuck. Like, I mean, what's your thoughts on like streaming now? Because when I was like watching, you were just like, I didn't give a fuck. And I thought that was awesome because like I've come up in the streaming era and it's like, yeah, you can bitch about getting pennies on a stream or whatever, but I love the access to music.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, that was the thing. What we saw in that was that it was going to give people more access to the music and the opportunity for more people to get on your shit, on a different level than the platform had for you at that point, right? And the only problem was that the labels didn't know how to transition out of that and figure out how to make it work. That's why they took those shitty fucking streaming rates because they thought it would go away. They thought people would always buy physical. And people do. They still do. It's coming back to that because people want to own the music. Right? But there's others who would rather have it digital and I don't want to have to store this but in my device, you know what I mean? And they just didn't have faith that the digital would be as strong as it is, so they made shitty deals and in turn all the fucking artists that were on those labels got shitty deals because these guys didn't know what the fuck it was going to turn into.
It worked out for me because I was signed to Cash Money like right around the time I think like Google Play was the first streaming, and then like Apple and all these things were coming. And this is right around when like Birdman and Lil Wayne were having the arguments about Carter 5 or whatever. I was on the label at the time, and I remember them being like, "Man, he wants to like take it to streaming," and like, what the fuck? And I at the time I had like basically got like a $200,000 like advance deal thing for like 6 albums or something crazy. I never ended up putting any albums out under them. But like what happened was I was on the label, streaming became a thing. Now I had a ton of mixtapes out, so I was putting them on like Dat Piff and the internet, but then streaming became a thing and I was like, hey Birdman, like do you care if I upload this to Apple Music? And I wasn't making the label any money at the time. So they're like, yeah, go ahead. Like, so I started putting all my mixtapes on streaming platforms. And I was getting paid. I didn't have to cut the label in on anything because they just like didn't give a fuck about me. Like, not that they didn't give a fuck, but
they overlooked it.
Well, and they were just like, you're making small potatoes. Like, we want millions of dollars. And so if you're making 50 grand or something, who gives a fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And so my transition away from the label was so easy because I was already making money off streaming and selling merch and all this stuff. And like, I don't know, I feel like blessed in my situation because I knew the labels were mishandling it, but it worked to my benefit. And like, Bird was cool as hell. Like, he just didn't care. He was like, put Cash Money on the merch and put it on the tapes and never took a cut of anything.
That's dope.
Yeah, and let me walk away. Like, it's funny because I always hear the like bad stories from artists about labels, especially like Cash Money, Young Money. Like, I've heard all those, and I'm like, I just be shutting up in the background because I'm like, can't relate at all. My situation was awesome.
Yeah.
I got paid $200 grand. I got to stream and sell merch. And like, nobody ever, I just knock on wood. Please don't ever come knocking because they never asked. They like at one point I was even paying them a percentage of my shows, but my shows were like $1,000. And I like remember hitting them and being like, hey, like, do you guys mind if I just like keep this 20% or whatever I was sending? Because I'm not making anything. And they were like, yeah, keep it. Like, that was the last thing I paid them.
Well, I'm sure.
That's awesome that they, you know, that they let it go like that. Because you do hear so many stories from artists that got fucked by their label.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like, I'm sure if I was making them a ton of money.
But it'd be harder to let you go.
Yeah, but like, it wasn't a ton of money, but to me, man, it made my life. Like, making 5 or 10 grand in a month.
It was the start.
Dude, it was like enough for me to pay my bills and buy more CDs and smoke and all this stuff. And I was like, dude, I'm killing. I felt like I was the richest person on the planet because I could afford rent from rapping. And I was like, this is awesome.
You had the right outlook on it, like that you were building, and it, you know, fuck it, it is what it is for right now, and that's a start. You know, like, I can't, you know, other than the fucking streaming royalty rates that all the industry took, I can't say that I had a bad experience on Sony. There was a couple times we bumped heads and all that shit, but they let us be us. They let us do us, win or lose.
So cool.
They made suggestions, and when we took them, cool, and if we didn't, they're like, okay, well, then it's on you.
When did you guys go to Sony? Because weren't you on Rough House, or was that a
it was through Rough House. I mean, with Rough House through Sony distribution,
like an umbrella thing.
Yeah, when Rough House dissolved, Sony took over the contract. So we were with Sony, Columbia, whatever, for the rest. So we spent like 16, 17 years there, and you know, like, for better for worse, they pushed us. They sometimes they pushed us in the wrong way, but for you know, for our experience, we can't say that we had a bad one like other people say. Oh man, they fucking no.
Sometimes you just get lucky.
We got lucky. You know, they believed in our vision, and they knew that we believed in our vision. They were like, okay, let's dudes go.
It's so cool because, like, from the outside looking in, I was like, man, if I was like an A&R nerd that didn't know a lot about music, it could be easy to like look at Cypress Hill and be like, what the, is this marketable? Like, you know, like, you guys were the Cheech and Chong of the music industry, and like, you had this like gritty sound and very like punk rock inspired, and your covers were scary. Like, it was so cool. Like, I don't know, I just look back on that and I'm like, shout out to whoever the fuck green lighted that and like didn't stand in the way, because an artist's genius is like what you see that other people don't see. Like, I was just talking to Will and Tess about this, of like, you know, managers and labels like always think they have the vision for the artist, but it's like you just see something that hasn't come yet, and like the best thing people can do for the most part is just like get the fuck out of the way. You know? I swear.
Listen, if an artist has a vision, you get out of the way. If they don't have a vision, but they got the talent and the goods,
that's fair.
You might have the vision for them, and you can sort of guide them through that. But it's like, it's got to be that situation, because there's other motherfuckers that got a vision, and if you fuck it up and get in the way of it, man,
you just stifle it.
You're
like,
stifling.
Even like getting these teeth tatted on my face, I like had this idea for like 5 years before I pulled the trigger, and everybody that managed me was like, "Please don't do that." Like, I had this idea since I was probably like 20, and they were just like, "Don't do it, don't do it. No, you're gonna ruin your career. You're gonna ruin everything." And like, I haven't noticed. I don't know if it's gotten in the way of anything. I haven't noticed. I felt like it's. I'm happy as shit every time I see myself on the camera, and I'm like, yeah, that's sick. Like,
listen, it's a talking point, especially in this day and age where you need to have a story, or some kind of
Thank you, B.
some kind of like entry piece, right?
Yeah.
And like, they didn't see it because they were still stuck in the traditional way of pushing music.
Yeah, they wanted, you know, you to look clean cut so that you could do a H&M ad or something. Like, fuck that, dude. Let me put this teeth on my face. This shit is badass to me. And like, I don't know. I feel like it's, if anything, just opened up more doors for me.
Yeah.
Like on social media, it's like if I'm ranting about some random thing, people are like, who's this idiot with these teeth on his face? And then it's like, it makes people stick around, and I'm like, I'm cool with it. Like, I love it. Like,
that's crazy.
I had the idea for forever. And like my brother and I, when we pulled the trigger, I was like, yep, I'm a genius. Everybody shut up. Get out of my way.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have to have that kind of confidence in your ideas, though.
Yeah.
You know, if you're an artist, you can't doubt the art you put out there or how you're presenting your art.
Not at all.
Well, let me ask you this, like, because I do agree with that, but like, I struggle sometimes. I don't know if it's like an artist thing or maybe it's a me thing, but like I was gonna ask, like, have you ever had these like moments? Because to me, from the outside looking in, you seem like you just have always had it figured out. As an artist, yeah, well, like, you know, like I get people probably perceive that about me sometimes, but I'm like, I don't know, like I just feel like you've always been comfortable in your sound or your vibe or what you're putting out, and like even like how much you guys toured, I was like, this dude loves being on the road. Like I just felt like you were at home in what you're doing, and I'm like, have you always felt like that, or has there genuinely been times where you're like, what am I doing?
You know, from the beginning, like it was the time I would question myself, like,
yeah,
you know, am I good enough?
Yeah.
At what this is, am I going to cut through? And for me, it happened in phases. One, it was my writing first, and then I had a flip in my writing somewhere. It changed, and I go, oh, okay, my writing's better, right? And then my delivery.
Yeah, you found your voice.
I found the voice, which, you know, I didn't have it in the beginning, and then, you know, I found it, and Muggs liked it. And I had to like it because at first I didn't like it. I was like,
iconic.
I'm like, I know they liked it because it was different. It was cutting through the beats different. But in my head, I'm like, is this really the shit?
It's awesome. Yeah.
And I had to learn to like it. Once I got past all those things and started having like the confidence in how I was delivering it, the tone in which I was delivering it, and then the evolution of my writing.
Yeah.
Then I started working with confidence and just knowing, okay, I know what I'm gonna do here.
Cool.
Sometimes I would second guess, you know, what I wrote here and there, and maybe I might have rewritten some things or just left it to see. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have those times. I mean, no matter how confident you are, there's going to be songs that push you in a different way where, like, you're, like, thinking, I don't know about this one, or, fuck, should I change this, or is this that shit? You know, every now and then you might have that, but, like, I feel like once you get your confidence and you know who you are and you know how to steer the ship in any direction, and under any fucking sort of environment or whatever, no matter how rocky the fucking boat is in the fucking water, you know what I'm saying? I could navigate it. And I think once you get there, you know, you have a sense of yourself. You know
what was the first time that you were like, oh yeah, I think I'm him? Was it like a live show or something, or seeing people respond to it? Like, what was the first time where you were like, yeah, I'm fucking Be Real?
You know, that part I don't remember, but
you're like, I've been him for so long that
and listen, you know, like our first 3-4 years doing shows, I was horrible. Like, I mean, I knew the songs, and I was delivering on the cadence and all that, but I was screaming the lyrics. I didn't sound nothing like I did on the record. And you know, a lot of us go through that because you know there's no training course for rappers to, you know, these days there might be, but back in that time,
YouTube video now, but
they
weren't around.
They weren't around. The instructional wasn't around back then, so you kind of had to learn as you went along. So it took me 3 years to finally get control of my voice to where I'm not screaming and I'm not like going
losing
hoarse,
your voice,
losing my voice, and all the other shit. And once I got there, I felt more comfortable. And when we'd rock like certain festivals, and it's like, you know, 200,000 people. I think it was Woodstock. When I seen
set is
I wasn't even that good back then yet.
That set is incredible.
You know, I wasn't even that good back then, but you know, I saw what people were doing to our shit. You know, and that's when I sort of felt that I'm like, fuck, we are Cypress Hill.
Yeah, you guys were like the first, I think, hip hop performers I'd seen that I felt like controlled the crowd like a rock show. Cause like I come from that world first of like, I love metal shows. I love moshing and crowd surfing. And like, I was a little kid going to that stuff. And you guys were like one of the first that I'd seen videos of where I'm like, yeah, dude, this is how, you know, it's still got the same energy. And you guys went to perform alongside all these incredible rock bands, which is like a really unique, like, dude, you toured with Nirvana.
It's crazy because even to this day we like look at it. I mean, I know I was a metal fan and so were the other guys, but like to be in the situations that we're doing metal festivals and shit like that, it's like
and like one of the only hip hop groups.
Yeah. There's Tech Nine. He gets up in there, man. He's like fucking killing those shows.
He's insane.
Yeah. One of my favorites, man. But like, you know, it's a trip. But that just goes to show you, you know, depending on the type of hip hop you make, we could totally stand in those places with those groups. Yeah. And people will move to that shit too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's I mean, you know, they're cousins.
Hip hop and especially like hardcore and punk have always been like
right there.
Yeah, because like all the same kids that I went to hardcore shows with were into hip hop. Yeah, like it just like kind of always went hand in hand. But I just think you guys are like such a dope embodiment of both worlds.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Oh yeah, man. Oh, yeah. It's great to see, you know, rappers embrace that aspect though. You know, like, you know, we do hip hop shit, but we can also flip into this world over here.
Yeah.
You know,
well, there's just so much good music out that I think like the more you lean into your artistry, the more you're just like, it's all music. I'm a musician first, you know?
Yeah.
There's so much cool shit out there. Like this next album that I'm working on is like an entirely singer-songwriter project. Like I'm not even really rapping on it. There's still much like hip hop influence and like drums, like patterns and shit. And probably my cadences that I'm singing are like hip hop influence, you know? But it's just, it's like combining all these worlds that I've been into for so long, you know? It's like, there's just so much to pull from.
See, that's dope. Yeah. Because it's challenging too, because you're pulling from all these different things that influenced you, that makes your shit.
True. Yeah, I think that was like probably the thing that inspired me the most, because I basically like we were at this. I came with willpower to like work on an album in Nashville, and we just knew we wanted to make something different, and the first couple records were all like rap records, super cool. He's an amazing producer. Yeah. And then one night I would like bring my laptop and my setup to record myself. And so like I'd be in a big studio, but with my laptop and a mic. Like,
right.
Fuck this. And but I would sleep at the studio every time I go to Nashville because I would just record all day. And one night he left me with this like rock production. And I was like, I ain't never really done anything like this. And I was like, I don't actually know if I can do this. And I worked on it all night, and when everybody came to the studio the next day, I was like, look, I either made the worst song I've ever made, or this is something. And like I really had no idea if I liked it. I was like, this might be trash, and like feel free to tell me it's trash. And I played it, and the whole studio just stopped and was like, fuck whatever else y'all been working on, let's do some shit in this direction.
Right.
And it just like changed course. But that's what's been exciting about is the challenge, because I've been writing raps for, half my life at this point. And so it was like cool to like just take these other influences and like study Black Sabbath, study Led Zeppelin, study the Beatles and all this stuff, and be like, how do I try to say a lot with a little bit?
Right.
Because like with hip hop, it's like you got to say something profound, but you got 16 lines.
You got 16 bars.
Yeah. And then with these records, I was like, how do I say something dope in 4? Or like, how do I make it catchy? And like, the whole challenge of it is the thing that's been really exciting, And it's like, and I made a rap record alongside of this. Like I just put out last year this album, Black Sheep 5, and like I did that while working on this. So it's like I've always been working on my pen game in that regard. But yeah, it's been the most fun thing in the last couple of years, just being like, how can I learn this thing?
And that is one of the most challenging things that you bring up about flipping to a different part of the genre, right?
Yeah.
Because with hip hop verses, you do have the 16 bars, which is a long time for you to tell a story.
It's its own challenge of like how much shit you got to write.
Yeah, how much shit you got to write to convey a point or a story or whatever. Where in the metal shit, the verses are shorter. So like in comparison, there could be a 4-bar verse or an 8-bar verse, which is half or a quarter of what a hip hop verse would be. So the challenge is,
and you're just saying less words anyways.
Saying less words, getting to a point.
Like
in a shorter amount of time. That is a fucking challenge.
It was funny because I even had some like sessions with some like songwriters in Nashville just to like try to work with some people and like see. And like after like 2 songwriter sessions, they're like, dude, you're okay. Like you don't need this.
You
like,
got this.
You're really good at writing stuff, because I just have had words screaming in my brain for most of my life, you know, just like lines constantly coming out. And so it's like I've always been good at like just sitting down and like being able to say something, but it was just like refining that and like getting comfortable singing or yelling and like those are all like different things that you haven't practiced. Cause like when I was in high school, I was like screaming in a band, like a screamo band. And I totally lost that talent somewhere along the way because I just was rapping for so long. And so it's like, just refinding.
It's there in the darkest corner. It's when you need to tap
into it. I've been refining it.
It's dormant. Yes.
I've been refining it. I like forced myself. I was like working on some like more heavy shit than this album that's coming on. And I was like forcing myself in the studio for a week. I'm like, I'm going to find this screaming voice. Like, I know I have it. I did it before. I know it's there.
It's there.
And I found it. I was like,
that part. You did it before. You heard it. You can get it back. Straight up. It just takes a little time. It takes a little time. I know. I've been there.
Unlock.
And it's fun when you unlock it.
Like what was the first time you unlocked the like nasally like head voice that you got? Because I heard the early demo stuff in that documentary on YouTube.
It was the song Real Estate. It's on the first album, but that was the first song that
what made you even do that?
Well, Muggs told me, he said, we need to do something about your voice or you're going to be carrying Send Dog's bags and writing for Send Dog. I'm like, what?
Remember? I remember.
You're going to be writing raps for Send Dog. I'm like, hell no.
Did you try like worse voices before that, or was that the first one?
No,
you tried like a really deep one.
That was the first voice.
That's sick.
So Mello and I, which is Send Dog's younger brother, Mello Mayonnaise, he kind of like, we would trade off writing each other's songs. So he wrote Real Estate for us, and I wrote like 2 songs on his album. Right? We were cool like that. We could give each other fucking verses and stuff, ideas that we heard each other do, right? So he's like, hey, man, I got this song here. Use this. And so I'm doing it. And, like as I'm doing it in my regular, voice that I had there, which is more like my talking voice.
Yeah, same.
He's like, hey, nah. Do it in the Ramel voice. And Ramel was a guy named Ramel Z. He's an artist from New York, old school. He's on Wild Style and things like that. He referenced a place called Cypress Hill. That's where we get our name from.
Cypress Avenue.
These guys lived on Cypress Avenue. We took the Cypress Hill, made it, representative of us. And we were big fans of this dude. And he's the only one at the time that was rapping in 2 voices. Like part of his verse might be in a voice like this. And then he'll go all the way up with the high-pitched voice. So Mello and I would constantly do our versions, like fucking around with each other. And we do our versions. He did his version on a song called Rhyme Fighter on his first album. So him knowing that my voice was a little bit higher up than his, he must have thought maybe that voice would sound good. Hey, try your Ramel voice on this shit. And I'm
so
like,
distinct.
And then I said, that's fucking ridiculous, dog. They're going to hate that. Nah, just try it. So I try it. And it sounded pretty cool, but I still was like a little bit weird about it.
I like this,
Presented it to Muggs. He was like, we're re-recording everything in this voice.
Cool.
But that was the first one. We did that one first, and then we went back, recorded the ones that we had, and then everything else from there was that voice.
Well, at least your first stuff was just in your regular voice. My first raps, I was so high and so like nervous that I think I had like a country twang on it. Like it sounded so stupid. Like, I'm so thankful that these weren't on the internet. This was like pre-social media. And I'm like, no one will ever hear this record. But like, it was so bad. Like I would like listen to it years later after I had found my voice. And I was like, what the fuck was that? How high was I that I was like rapping in like an accent that I don't even speak in? I was like, I don't know. I was just lit.
See, that's the crazy shit. That's how I felt about this voice.
Yeah.
Like I had to get used to it. It took me fucking years. Like now I gotta rap like this to people.
Yeah.
And you know, fortunately, I got hold of it and I figured it how to harness it. But at first, I was like, I don't know if I could sustain this.
Well, it's so cool because it's even like 30 years later. The second a verse from you comes on, I 100% know it's you. It's like, you know, it's not, you're not like, is this so-and-so? Like, you just have
right
something
away.
that I've never even heard anybody execute after that. You know, a lot of times people like copy styles and it's like, I don't know, you just made something so unique.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. It's funny because before I'd ever heard an interview from you, I thought that's how you talk.
Yeah,
like,
a lot of people
I got a crazy,
people
crazy voice. I'm like, he's going to be hilarious to talk to. And then I was like, oh, wait, never mind.
Oh, man. That's how it was back in the day when they would ask us to come do radio.
Yeah.
They're like, where's the guy with the crazy
Where's
voice?
the guy with the...
Like, well, that's me. He goes, you sound like this? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, how do you get from this to that?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, you guys were just like unique. So it's going to turn into an interview for you because I'm just excited to be here. But like everything about Cypress Hill was like so different. Like the style, the covers, the beat selection. And it's like, was that just like a natural thing that was happening? Or like, were you consciously thinking about it? Or you guys were already different because you weren't in other rap crews? Or like, what was it?
Yeah, I mean, we were pretty much, very much to ourselves like that. Yeah. And Muggs was influenced by like the Bomb Squad.
New York.
One thing that they did was, well, I think he was influenced by Molly Mall and the Bomb Squad. And what he focused on was being unique, right? Like as a producer, he didn't want to have shit that sounded like anybody else.
Yeah.
And so that gave Sen Dog and myself like, you know, a map to do a different type of fucking
hip hop
style.
needs that back.
Yeah. You know, the producers, you know what I mean?
No, facts. Yeah.
They need producers like that have the vision.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so many people nowadays like produce with just like loops.
Right.
So they get sent loops and then they put trap drums,
couple of sounds on it,
and call it a day. And it's like there's great beats like that. I'm not, you know, I'm a fan of all the music, but like that's like one thing I loved about making records with Will was like on the new album is like we never approached any record the same. Like we would start with a live guitar or like have somebody come play keys or he would take some sample thing. It's like we never approached any record like trying to recreate something. So like it's like almost like the album, you know, as I was listening to all the records, like doesn't feel cohesive. But then when you put an album cover on it and you put it together in the right order and you're like, well, this is its own thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, it's taking people on a journey, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. Every song is a part of that journey.
Yeah.
And if you could put it together with the right album cover, man, it fucking, you know, it pretty much reels people in.
And you got like a level of pride that you're like, this don't sound like anybody I've played anything new for, they're just like, they have to pull like 4 different references to even like make a comparison. They're like, it's almost like this meets this meets this. And I'm like, I like that.
See, we need more of that, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a thing that happens with a lot of beat makers as opposed to producers, right?
Yeah.
I feel like beat makers will follow each other like, okay, this is what's hitting. That's what's hitting. That's what's hitting. We got to make shit like that.
I want to sell beats and get a placement.
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to, you know, finding the right artist they might click with and say, you know, we're going to create a vibe and take people on a journey and shit like that. I feel like you get a artist that challenges himself and the producer that's challenging the artist and himself or herself while they're doing this shit because they're trying to do something different than just to be like,
me,
oh, we need to do like this or that.
Yeah, well, that's what makes you like an artist to me. When you're just like, let's go in and find something, you know? It's like, instead of let's recreate this sound or let's make something like this, it's like, let's go discover what it's going to be like, you know? Because I like paint too, and it's the same way when I paint. It's like, I have people all the time like ask me to like do a commission for something, and I'm like, I don't know how to paint a fucking flower pot or like your dog. Like I don't even know what I'm gonna make. So it's like I just go in and find it, and it's like that's how I try to treat the albums too. Like anytime I get,
do you design the albums?
I've designed like 1 or 2 covers. I got this awesome homegirl, Lisa. She's got this company, Legit Looks. They're directors. She's done a lot of my album covers, and because she's just like incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've been doing like the first single that came off this is a painting I made, and because I'm like I kind of wasn't like confident enough to put my art on stuff at first, but now I'm like kind of getting into the idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like I just approach all that stuff the same way where it's like if I get writer's block ever, it's because I have too rigid of an idea of like what I'm trying to make. Like on a record or an album, if I ever get stuck, I know it's 100% because I'm trying to make it this thing instead of just letting it become something.
Right.
And so I just have to like go make something in the opposite direction and like totally let
Push on.
take a record off and just be like, it's going to be something else, you know?
Push on for a second, then revisit.
Yeah. Because that's, I think a lot of artists probably struggle with that because you see things that work and everybody wants to be successful and be heard and stuff. And so a lot of times people want to take the path of least resistance.
Right.
But it's like, man, you just got to actually just make art, you know, just make good shit. And at least if no one hears it, at least you're original. I love that shit, you know? It's,
How did it feel working with the cats in Nashville? Because those are some of the best players in the world down there. A lot of people are now going to Nashville and making records. I know Everlast went down there and made his record with Wolf, which you've worked with.
Dude.
You've worked with Wolf and Everlast. Yeah.
Great dudes, yeah. Everlast.
He told me to tell you what's up.
I just got to say, Everlast is like one of the coolest dudes ever.
Yeah.
He's like a real art head. He's like totally got great outlook on politics and belief systems.
Yes.
Like I just think he's really solid. And like just to be real, sometimes in Nashville I gotta like be antisocial because I'm like I don't know what type of belief systems y'all got.
True that, right?
You know? But on a music tip, it was like really cool because this was like one of the first projects where there was a lot of collaboration. Like Will's producing the whole album, but like, you know, we would bring in guitarists and and these are some of the dopest players ever. Like Nashville, you could throw a rock and hit a great guitar player in the head. And so like at first it was almost like I felt like a little bit insecure probably because I was like, man, these guys are like real musicians and like I don't know. I've always felt like a good writer, but like, you know, sometimes you get in a room with like Peter Keys, who's like the best piano player I've ever met. And I'm like, am I an artist? Like, I don't know. This guy could like just go to a piano and play the most insane thing off rip. But then but then it started to like really push me. Like we got this record on the album called Say My Name that we made at Peter Keys' studio. And he's like played keys for like Leonard Skinner and all sorts of stuff.
Whoa.
This guy's the best piano player I've ever met. But I was like, by that point, I'd already made a bunch of records, and I was like really starting to get in the groove. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck up whatever we make today is gonna be my best writing I've ever had. And I just like killed it. It was like effortless. I made this record in like 15 minutes, I think. Like my vocals. Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna go. They had made the beat or like the production, and I was like, okay, leave me alone for 15 minutes.
That's how it is,
and came back and had a whole record.
Hey, you met the moment, you know what I'm saying? Like, instead of letting it intimidate you, you know what I'm saying? You allowed them to make you better.
Well, my whole career's been me forcing myself into moments that I don't want to do. And just like, you know, like even when I performed, like I threw up before every concert I had for the first 8 years of my career. 6, 7,
the anxieties, huh?
Yeah, just like I've always had like, I don't know. I've always kind of had like a little bit of like social anxiety. Like I like my friends and my family, but around new people, I've always just been like, I don't know, you know? And it's overwhelming like being on stage sometimes, but I would just like force myself to go do it. And like, because I wanted to make music so bad, you know, just to be able to keep making music, not because I wanted to be the most famous person or not because I wanted, just like, I was like, I have to do this so that I can afford to make more music.
Right.
And so it's like, that's just been like the whole crux of my career. Like even the album with Yellow Wolf, it was like forcing myself to go toe to toe with somebody that I really respect on the mic. And this album, working in Nashville, is like, I got to show up and like be who I think I am.
Right.
Yeah, with these artists. And like, I don't know, if you force yourself to do that, sometimes you're like really surprised.
Yeah, it's
like,
pushing yourself, you know what I mean? And and it's great that you realize that because a lot of people give up in those points and don't realize that they have it in them, or they don't think they have it in them. You know what I mean? And to push back.
Do you feel like that was built or that you had it in you?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you got it in you, but you have to build up to it, you know, because everything is like a confidence builder that you're getting up to that shit. You know what I mean? You could let these things intimidate you, or that thing that's inside of you say, you know what, I could live up to this fucking moment.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you did. You know what I mean? And did that surprise you?
Yeah. Well, like every piece of my career that I've been around something like that, it's always surprised me. Like even when I got signed to Cash Money or Birdman, I was like, oh, whoa. Like
those were all the up.
Because it was weird because like in high school, I thought I was the next Eminem. Like I was like the worst rapper ever at this point, and I was like, this mixtape that I got 50 copies of that we're burning on a printer one at a time, I was like, this is going to make me famous. This is a hit. And like every year I've been disappointed, but in a good way. Like, I don't know, because just making the album to me, I was like, whoa, I made this. And like, I would just listen to my stuff on repeat, just like genuinely blown away that I even made this thing. And so, like, but I would get these moments where like something dope happened, and like I would get a little sign that's like, yo, you got something.
You're on the right path.
Yeah. And like, so each time I got in one of those situations, I've been in studio sessions with artists that I respect the hell out of. Like, that is the thing that adds this layer to where you're like, yo, I could, like, at this point, I'm like, I know I could go in the studio with anybody and be comfortable writing, you know?
Yeah.
Because I just think I got it. I don't know. You would make me nervous, but
no, that's the mindset though. That is the mindset that like I could go in there with anybody. You know what I mean? No matter who it is. And that's when you do fucking some great things. You know what I mean? You push to achievements. You're like, oh shit, I just did that.
And you realize that like everybody is just what you were at some point. Everybody is like, was an insecure kid trying to rap at some point, or an insecure kid trying to make beats and wasn't sure. And it's just through time and repetition that you're like, oh, I'm doing the same thing that Kanye West did, or Jay-Z did, or Eminem. You know, it's just like, just working through that to get better.
And I'm glad you said the point when, you know, like getting on stage was uncomfortable for you, because we were just talking about some shit like that the other day, in the sense that, you know, some people make this shit look so easy that you would think that it's a natural ability that someone has to, like, oh, I create songs so I could, you know, naturally go out there and perform
totally
them.
Different mountain.
And it's a totally different mountain to fucking climb, you know, especially, you know, if you have those kind of issues where like you're not comfortable around a lot of people. And all of a sudden your shit hits and you got to perform it in front of a lot of people. It's a mountain you have to climb and get over, and it's not an easy one, because that's all in here.
Yeah, it's a totally different beast. Like, I think my issue was that, like, growing up, I wasn't the superstar of my family. Like, it wasn't like I wasn't the one that everybody was like, you're a star, you're great at what you, like, my family wasn't bad, but, like, my sister was a star athlete and, like, super smart. My dad.
She got to listen to
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's funny is that, I don't know which came first, but, like, she fucked off all that stuff, you know, just in the lifestyle, like street lifestyle. But like, you know, growing up when I was young, she was a superstar. And I was like not really that good at sports. I was like the youngest kid because of where my birthday was, not super talented, not super athletic. My dad was like an all-star, you know, athlete too. And so I don't know. I just think like growing up, I was like, I really ain't shit. And then I started making music and just fell in love. But then when you get on stage, you're like, you got to address that thing and just like step into something different. And like, you know, my first couple performances were probably dog shit.
It's crazy to go from that to that.
Yeah.
Because on stage, you command this fucking crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a different arena there, but like you're shining in a place that they couldn't necessarily shine in.
Yeah,
where they were shining at the time in places that.
Yeah. We all just got different gifts. And like at this point, I'm like, thank God I wasn't good at baseball. I was never going to go to MLB or whatever the league is. I was never going to do that. So thank God I wasn't good at it. And like being on stage too is interesting, because when you got like your own internal things going on, and then you got to go perform for people that are really excited because they connect to your music, that's like a whole other thing to like navigate and address, because sometimes you get like I don't want to call it imposter syndrome, but something like that, where you're like, man, these people like love this music and think I got to figure it out, and then my personal life is a mess or something like that. So there's just a lot. But over time, I've kind of just learned that, like, I actually don't think anybody thinks that highly of me. I was probably thinking that too much. You know, it's like people get that you're just a dude and they just like your music. And
no,
like,
that's
go
true.
give them a hell of a show. You know?
I feel like when they know you're going through shit, but you're still able to do what it is that you do, they connect with you on a even stronger level, I think, because it's like they're human, like we are. We all go through some shit. Yeah. And even though this person is going through this, they're still here. Yeah. And lock it in. And they, you know, I think they respect that.
That was the whole first wave of my fans from like when my music was like just in my high school to when I actually started getting some listeners. It was like, you know, my dad had committed suicide, and I was like, I just started talking about that kind of stuff. And I was like real honest, real vulnerable about it. And that was like a whole wave of early listeners, were like people that had lost a parent or lost somebody. And, you know, I've always just put whatever, that's like the one thing I know how to do, is like put whatever I've gone through into songs, you know?
And that's the best part.
Yeah, because it's like therapy, you know? It's like, I've told the story before, but like the day my dad passed away, I got brought to the house. Police are like taking his body out. I'm not allowed to see it. And I have like a song idea pop into my head, which was mad weird, because I'm like, this is the worst day I've ever had. This is a life-altering kind of like tragedy that I'm going through. But I had this line come into my head about like staring at holes in the ceiling because he had shot himself. And it was like this really poetic thing. And like it changed how I perceived life, or like what I'm going through. Because I was like, wow, I am gonna be able to get through this because I'm gonna make something with it.
You're a fucking artist.
Yeah,
you found something in that moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And only artists do that.
Yeah, it's so weird. Well, it's weird because you feel like guilty. You're like, am I inspired right now? Like, I don't know
that was your dad giving you a gem.
Nah,
like
thank you for that.
Straight
You're
up,
right, dude. Yeah, because damn, I'm.
Because you
know, I don't want to cry. I've never thought about it like that.
Because you know, he knew that was your trajectory. He was listening to your music.
Thank you.
He gave you a gem.
Well, that's gonna fuck me up, dude.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nah, that's a really beautiful way to look at it. Yeah, because at the time I was like, why? I almost like felt guilty that I wasn't like mourning him more, because I was obviously like fuck life at this point, but at the same time there was this song thing going on in the back of my head, and I'm like, I'm the worst person on the planet. Well, my dad just died, and I'm thinking about a song.
Nah, look, you know, like the feeling you got when you knew he was proud of you. Yeah. Right? That sort of pushed you into this even more.
Yeah.
And so to have a moment like that, man, that's fucking beautiful. I mean, it out of a fucked up, tragic moment, that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a gift for sure, you know, to be able to like see that, and instead of letting it like destroy you, like gave you something.
Yeah. I think that's like the craziest part about being human, is trying to alchemize these bad things we've been through. Because like, I don't know if I'm a big believer on like everything for a reason and all that stuff. I know it's a nice line and it's comforting, but like there is like just fucked up things that happen in the world and to you, and it's like, I would never say that the reason my dad passed away was so that I could write songs with it. It's just that as a human, we're trying to like take these bad things we go through and like find a purpose with it. Make something of it. And that's...
And people connect with that because there's so many that have a similar story.
Oh man, I didn't know anybody that committed suicide when I was that age. And like when I started making songs about it, I was like, the amount of people that have gone through almost the same thing I went through or something in the same vein, it made me feel connected to people in a different way. And like I think that gave me this like obligation to want to like show up for people that listen to my music in a different way, you know? I've heard you talk about that type of stuff of like wanting, you know, you guys did the same thing, you know, a decade before I ever even touched a mic, but you guys were going into the crowd and kicking it with everybody and like these things that not everybody was doing. And like, that's how artists should be, is like, this is your community, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, at points, you're entertaining them with what you're telling them, and other points you're telling their story, whether you know it or not. Like, you know, people been through some of the shit you talk about, so they connect with you in that way. And then when you go out there and you're with them and you don't have these barriers like these fucking mountainous dudes, like, you know, hey, stay the fuck back.
Barricade 3 feet off the stage.
They feel connected to you in a different way that you know, a lot of those people will be with you for life.
Yeah, man.
And you know, we realized that from way back then, you know, and it was through Chuck D.
Yeah.
Salute to our big brother Chuck D. He gave me 5 minutes, didn't know who I was. You know,
I heard that story. Yeah.
We were in the club and I see them like, yo, Chuck. And we were trying to be low key because we didn't want to blow his spot up.
Yeah.
Because we weren't the type of dudes that approached the guys that we looked up to. Because, you know, and I've said it many times, we didn't want to be disappointed and end up having to beat somebody up.
Happened to me before.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we never approached anybody. But like with Chuck, we were like, it was me and one of the other dudes. We're like, hey, man, we know who you are, man. Fucking, we love you guys, man. We bump your shit on our block. And hopefully one day we'll be doing what you're doing. It's like, hey, man, thank you, and keep at it, and maybe one day you will be doing that shit. And, and it was like cool because it was just a real quick, cool-ass interaction.
But it is impactful.
And that gave me something, and I told him that years later.
Yeah,
and,
cool.
And I said, look, you know, because we were doing Smoking Grooves at the time, and they allowed us to have, and no other artist had them at the time, was our own section, you know, that was separate from the merch shit. You know, we didn't want to be selling merch there because was too much. But we made them give us like what is now known as a meet and greet fucking tent.
Cool.
You know what I mean? So we would have like, you know, people come and we'd sign whatever, take pictures.
You guys pioneer meet and greets? Probably, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, at the concert, yes, we did that. No one was really doing that. Like, because we would do it for no reason other than to, you know, have connection with our fans there. Yeah. And it was fucked up because we didn't realize that we were taking a lot of the crowd away from whoever was performing.
I've made that mistake a couple times.
Man, that was
you got this big line outside your meet and greet tent and somebody else is performing. I'm like, I've made that mistake.
We did it to Courtney Love one night. We didn't even realize that we had done it. Bobo and I, we go up into the crowd, but we go up into the grass area. And people were like, "Oh shit, you guys are
migrating away from."
And they're all migrating to where we're walking to, you know, because we went from one side of the venue up into the grass area. They recognized, and we walked all those people like cattle to the fucking meet and greet spot. Well, wasn't called the meet and greet then, but that's what you call it now.
Yeah.
And you know, they all came to the booth, and we're fucking sitting there signing like an hour before we go on.
Wow.
And you know,
that's so.
We felt bad after because we took some of that crowd away, but that, you know, they appreciated the fact that we were out there, no security, and just being with people, you know?
Same. And it's like such a given, it's like a mutual relationship because like I tell people this all the time that have been longtime listeners or that I meet at shows. I'm like, you know, because they're grateful you're giving them the time of day. And I'm like, I'm the same way because these people are exactly what it is the purpose of all this. You know, it's like I make records for myself, but they are for the world and for people. And it's like, man, the people that have shown me love along the way have kept me out of really dark places, you know? And like, and you know, at times in my career where I was like, man, I don't know if I'm going to keep doing this, or like maybe I messed up along the way or something. And man, these people have like kept me going in such a serious way, you know?
It's that relationship with your fan base. They hold you up, you hold them up, and it's that balance, you know, that keeps it moving, man. And then you build, as you're going, other people that happen to catch you when they catch you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter when. Once they're there, they'll find out all the stuff before.
Yeah.
True.
You know what I mean? And because it's like the way that, you know, when I got onto Ozzy Osbourne, right?
Yeah.
He was in his solo career at that point. Sabbath was way before, you know, like that had
Same, actually.
You know what I'm saying? So I learned about Ozzy, and then I got into Sabbath after that. And I was like, oh shit. And then seeing all his evolution from that point that I got onto him and now and up to when, you know, when he passed or whatever. But it's one of those things, the relationship you have with your fucking fans. you know, they're going to be there. You know, whether you put out great shit
or
stinkers.
Shit. Yeah. I've had
those fans will
I've had
support.
every type of era. I've had ones where I was on way too many drugs and I wasn't saying anything. And ones where I was trying to do something I even had a whole era of being a pretentious workout dude. And I'm like, thank God for everybody that just stuck with me. Because I'm just, part of being public facing is that you make your mistakes in public too. And like, I don't know. I didn't have a lot of people guiding me growing up, and so I've learned a lot, made my mistakes publicly, thought I'd figured out who I was a million different times, and like I am just grateful for the people that like give it grace because they know who you are and they know like what you're about. But it's like, yeah, I've had all the mistakes in public, and I'm like, man, I know I lost some people along the way, but thank you to everybody that stayed.
Hey, you know what? For the ones you lost, you've gained more.
Yeah, and I'll get them back one day because they'll be like, oh, he's not a total douche anymore. Cool. I wasn't trying to be. I was just like, I got sober. I was working out a bunch, and I was like kind of manic because I was getting up at 5 every day, even if I was up till 4. So I was like, what? I was like 3 months straight operating on no sleep every night.
You were on a specific schedule.
Yeah, and I was like, and it started to make me like really manic, and then I just started kind of being a dick and like not like too fan, but like just being like, this is the way to fix your life. You know, just what we were talking about before. I'm like, the older I get, the more I'm like, what the fuck do I know? This is my first time being here. I don't know anything, and like I'm appreciative of people that have given me grace through it because you know, it's you're doing your best, but none of us got it figured out.
That's what allows growth, you know, is that the self-realization, you know, and then someone giving us the grace.
Yeah.
Because through that, you're gonna, you slow down and like, you know,
life's gonna teach you eventually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out eventually.
Yeah.
You know? I thought I had it all figured out. Life was like, now you need a surgery and you can't do anything for a month. Shut up.
Like, look, I know what I know now, but I'm going to learn more along the way.
Yeah,
there is no fucking way.
Any opinion I have now and for the future, just know it's not that. I don't hold it that seriously.
So you had that hernia. Was it like the
It was like it was like a rip in my stomach muscle.
Yeah.
My organs are like coming out. It was so weird. I always thought a hernia was like something else. I think I had a hernia and hemorrhoids mixed up or whatever. I was like, they told me I had a hernia, and I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, from like doing burpees a bunch and performing so much, I had like ripped my stomach tissue.
Same. I had to have that same shit.
And were you touring at the time?
I'd had it for a minute, but I didn't address it.
Same.
You know, one fucking particular tour, I hadn't felt it ever.
Because it goes away. Like
yeah. I hadn't felt it, and then on this, it was like maybe 2 years ago or something like that now, but on the last 3 days of the tour, it fucking hit me. And on the last day, it hit me the hardest. It hit me in such a way that like I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna move right here because like whatever I'm feeling right now feels really crazy, and I feel if I move around too much, it's gonna get worse. So I kind of just stood there, did the rest of the show without moving around, and when I got home, got to my fucking doctor, and we got to fucking do surgery right now.
Dude, I had the exact same story. I like went to a doctor out here early on. He was like, it's not a hernia. And I was like, this guy's a doctor. Cool, it's not a hernia.
Same thing.
Yeah, I went and toured, and then it started getting worse and worse, and I was on a 3-month run at the time, and it was all over. It was like 60-something dates. So I was like, I was shows every other night. And so I was just like nonstop going, and I'm working out.
Yeah.
And not sleeping. And so it starts getting worse and worse. And I'm like, it's got to be a hernia. Like that.
Yeah.
And I went and got a second opinion on one of the off days. And they were like, they didn't even do any scans. They were like, this is a hernia. You need surgery ASAP. Ooh. And I was like, I don't have time to do surgery. I got a month left to tour or like whatever. And so the doctors gave me this stupid like waistband thing that had like a part that pushed it in. Try to stop it. And I wasn't really like disciplined about wearing it. I was like, this shit is stupid. Like, I'm going to keep performing. I was just like trying to be a rock star. And like, I remember I went to one more appointment. I had 3 shows left. Same thing. And the doctor's like, do not do anything crazy. This is going to be a really bad problem if it gets worse. And the last show or whatever, I was like, on stage like, the doctor told me not to do this, fuck that. Jumped in the crowd surfed.
Oh, man.
Injured myself so bad that when I got off stage, I had to lay on the ground for almost an hour. Couldn't move till it settled down.
Yeah.
And I flew back, got surgery. But that was like life. My wife and I always talk. She's like, you know, don't ever say you got it figured out, because that's when life gives you these hard lessons. And like at that point, I really felt like I had figured my life out. Like just I'd figured out what worked for me and how I should act and what I should be doing. And sure enough, God was like, nope. You're stupid. Yeah, you don't got it. Yeah, you don't got nothing figured out. And it humbled me so much. Like, man, it knocked me off this like really high horse that I was getting on at the time. Because I was like manic to the point where I was like, I can manifest everything. Watch this. In 6 months, I'm going to have this, that.
That's okay.
And I had like my first like iTunes #1 album. So I was like really riding high.
That's right.
And I was like, I got it. Everybody's stupid. And
Feeling it, yeah.
Yeah, and like, I don't know. I just got served a big slice of humble pie. And I was like, I think I'm going to do my best to never do that again. And like, I've always looked up to like Jimi Hendrix from his interviews, because if you ever watch any of his interviews, he doesn't ever come across like he's knows anything, or like
he doesn't realize how big he is,
or like even when he gives an opinion about something, I love how he's always like, maybe, I mean, maybe that's how I feel. I don't know, what do I, and I just like I tattooed him on my body because I just was like, I always want to be like this, because I don't know anything, you know. It's like I'm just a small piece in this big puzzle of, you know, that's going on with life. And I've just always like admired that about him, and a lot of artists in that same vein, that like when they don't come across as pretentious, it's endearing, because you're like, yeah, what the hell do any of us know, you know? Yeah. That's why I'm gonna smoke weed with you before the end of the show. I had a whole period. Let me just make my public apology. I argued with Wiz Khalifa about this. I did all sorts of shit where I was like, life is gonna be better not smoking. Just so you know, I don't know shit, okay? And I'm here with Be Real, and I'm gonna say that you are the GOAT, and that I would be happy to smoke a joint with you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And you're right. None of us really know shit. We're continuously learning, and if someone says they got it all figured out, they ain't got nothing figured out.
It's the second I stopped listening.
I mean, we know what we know, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know? And it's important that you keep open to learning new things, for sure, because you know, anyone can teach you something.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
Anyone. You know, like you'd be surprised how many so-called together people are full of shit.
Yeah. Oh, man, all the time. I watch it all the time. I watch all these people I looked up to, because I'm like, they got it figured out, and then something happens and their life goes to shit, or they do something that you're like, I would never do that. And I've just learned to not take anything that serious from anybody, because even if their advice is correct, like what was working for me at the time was working, but all of us are so different, man.
Yeah.
My whole life, meeting fans, meeting people, how diverse my friend group is, how diverse the people I come in contact with, like I've just learned that it's a gray world, man. It's not black and white at all. It's your truth might not be somebody else's, and that's cool, you know?
Everybody's got a different truth.
Yeah.
Some are similar and whatnot, but yeah, that's what makes it all so great. Everybody's different and a unique individual.
I should have never stopped smoking weed, because if I had been smoking weed, all this time, I would have been like thinking I know it all. I would have hit the weed, and I would have been like, maybe not. You know, I should have just stayed on that path, because
I'm still learning.
Yeah, what the hell do I know? What's the most recent lesson you've learned in life, or what's one you're currently learning?
Shit, I feel like every day's a new lesson. But it was really learning patience.
Yeah. With
myself, with people, and with the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because some of us are very impatient, and we expect things to go like this, and it ain't always like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even the most, let's just say, powerful people in this game have to practice patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not everything moves to the rhythm you might want it to move. So it's that. And not just in business situations, just with people.
Yeah.
You know, because people will test you and shit.
Yeah, and you got to give people grace.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've learned a lot of patience even working on this project, because this is like the longest I've ever spent working on an album. Yeah. Just because we were in different states and there were background things happening, and I would go on a tour that took it away, and like I normally get like in a mode and I make albums in like a month, you know, 2 months max. I made one of my biggest albums in a week, 7 days. And so I've always liked working on that. And then this one, it was like these stretched out time periods.
Taking time, yeah.
And I was getting so impatient. And then but in retrospect, I look back at the body of work and I'm like, man, we made really special stuff.
Yeah.
Like just giving it its time and letting people take their time with their pieces and,
I think some things, when there's a momentum to it and everybody
100%.
could feel the momentum, you go to that. But let's just say there's like a break in the momentum. To me, like that's in the time that you got to be patient. You just sort of let it breathe, and maybe it takes longer than the plan was. In moments like that, you know what I mean? Because sometimes we just want to make it fucking happen. We might force something, and then it doesn't fit.
And sometimes you realize like the universe, God, whatever's slowing me down was for my own benefit.
Right.
Yeah, like if I look back on my life all the time and I'm like, thank God I didn't pop when I was a 19-year-old kid. I was a shitbag, dude. I had no discipline. I had no self-control. I was like just totally enamored with things and the lifestyle and just getting fucked up. And I'm like, man, if I would have like had really big success at that age, I would have been like a 27 Club type of story.
That's why child stars have such a tough run. Because they do get that popping like the Disney kids and all that.
Yeah, I can imagine how hard that is, man.
I mean,
it's
like
hard navigating as an adult.
It's hard enough, right?
12?
Yeah. And if you're like at that age and you got shit popping, it's brutal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, being in the entertainment world is tough.
Yeah.
Life is tough, period.
Yeah.
But like, when you're a kid going through that shit and you got all these adults taking advantage of one scenario or another.
Well, even like I went through some level of that being 18 on the label because I had managers at the time and I just thought everybody knew better than me. And in a lot of ways they didn't, at least about my artistry. But like, and I was just dealing with the amount of fame I had being like having a lot of stuff I hadn't worked through, like I hadn't worked through losing my dad. I lost some friends to fentanyl and like I just been through things that I hadn't really like processed yet. And I was dealing with this big imposter syndrome of like, man, I'm supposed to be a star, but I hate myself right now. It was like, it was weird navigating and I don't know. Thank God the universe has given me time to get my head on.
Word. Thank you.
Yeah. Thinking about things like that, I feel like, because I mean, I think we all get them at times, like those thoughts, like, wow, I mean, how am I afforded this opportunity? What did I do to have?
Or you have survivor's guilt.
This type of shit. Yeah,
your friends and people that you thought were even more talented sometimes. Like,
right.
I have a lot of that where I'm like, because where I'm from in Orlando, there's so many great artists. Like, I never felt like the best artist where I was from. I was always looking up to everybody around me and just being like, so there's a level of like imposter syndrome of like, do I deserve this? Like these people are so talented, and it's just, I don't know. Life has things in store for all of us.
God wants what he wants.
Yeah. Man.
Or she, however you look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you can't fight that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I gotta say, like I felt sort of similar in that way. Like I know there's like fucking, at the time when we were making our demos or when we get on, I'm like, fuck, I know at least 10 other motherfuckers that
are so good,
that are much better than me. And how is it that I got this opportunity? You know what I mean? So you definitely deal with that.
And you gotta just be grateful for it.
And I think that's those. I think those are what those thoughts.
You end up like treating it so well. I've always tried to like, I haven't been perfect at this, but I've like always just tried to treat everybody that's been supportive of me with respect, treat it well. Cause like you were talking about that interaction with Chuck D and it's like, I had the two polar opposite ones, like one with an artist where he was like, fuck off, like I'm not giving an autograph. And then one with somebody that was really welcoming. And I was like, I'm going to make sure that even when I'm in a bad mood, I'm going to be like the best version of me for some random person that I
Thank you.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah. Realizing that, like, I got to be, this way with my people at all times. No
I can't
matter
take
what
my impatience out on them, or if I'm having a bad day, like and it really does like snap me out of it. You know, like I'll be in the middle of the shittiest day and then some kid's like, Caskey, and I'm like, oh yeah, never mind, life's good. Like,
yeah. That part.
Yeah.
Like realizing that, like, like you might be in that kind of mood. Something might have happened, and then you get in front of these fans, and they charge you the fuck up. And you're like, yeah, this is what it's about right here. You know what I mean? And salute to all those fans that hold us up as artists. Who try and understand the creative moves we make, even when it's maybe not something
that they like. Dude, yeah, thank y'all for sticking with us, because I gotta try it. I got this insatiable thing in me where it's like the second I'm into something, I'm like, I gotta try this. I gotta see if I can do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hits, and like sometimes it does stick. Like I got this album, Music to Die To, that's like an acoustic album. It's like piano and acoustic. It's real minimal. It's like eerie and just singing, and it's weird. But I really liked it, and it really was inspiring at the time. And a lot of people, it's not their cup of tea, but there are people that are like, this is actually my favorite album. Like it just did something for me at this. Like it's just meant for somebody, somewhere. And like, to be fair, my favorite songs and favorite artists, like it's never been the hits. My favorite bands and stuff, nobody knows these bands. You know, or people do, but they're not like.
And it's the album cuts.
Yeah, it's always this deep one that changed my life. And like all the records that made me fall in love with music were like not big songs at all,
That's the crazy shit about hip hop too. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people's favorite songs weren't big hit songs. They were like the dope song on the fucking album.
Well, what was so cool for y'all is that you had hits that like did not follow the narrative of like you guys were coming up at the same time as like LL Cool J and shit was on the radio. And it's like you guys just went in the opposite direction and still had hits. Like to me, that is the biggest win as an artist. Like when something that you like know we weren't aiming for a hit, we just made shit we thought was dope and it hits. It's like, man, that's a blessing that not a lot of people get.
Yeah, that was insane. We did not think that was going to be a hit. We thought that was a good album song.
Yeah.
But thank God we didn't choose, because we were choosing something that was much darker.
Our
shit was like always going darker, but like we allowed the suggestion from Sony, and we're like, all right, fuck it.
We'll try it. Yeah.
And to our surprise, they blew that fucking song up, and we're like, I didn't see it.
I was watching this thing that said that you guys got the break. Like it was like Rough House was talking about how you guys were kind of plateaued at this amount of album sales, and then the movie Juice comes out.
Yeah.
Ooh. And you guys To Kill a Man or whatever
Kill a Man
is plays for 98 seconds in Juice.
Yeah.
It's so cool how like these random moments are these alley-oops.
Yeah.
There's this book called Hitmakers or something like that. Yeah. And it talks about all these different phenomenon in history where like something became really popular, like expressionism in painting,
right?
And how all these painters that we know as like the expressionist masters were really just friends with this one guy who died, and it got in a museum, and it's like all these stories about these random alley-oops, and I'm like, man, it's so cool. It was like this movie scene that now everybody's like, who the hell is Cypress Hill?
That was Chuck D.
Yeah.
And the Bomb Squad who looked out for us.
Oh, sick.
Crazy, right?
That's
like
cool.
The irony of that. Like the dude I run into that gave me the moment that you said, right? Like, I'm going to try to be this way with my fans through this whole shit. He's the one that sort of inspired me to like treat the fans with respect and, give them the time, right? And unbeknownst to me, I didn't find this out till later, that he was the one that suggested Kill a Man for that scene.
It's so iconic, that scene. It's like it just changes the whole mood of the movie at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's fortunate to have moments like that, because when you don't get radio play, standard radio play, and you just get mixed show play, something like that doesn't happen for you, and your music might be obscure at
and
that
you can't
point,
plan those things. Like that's what I've found fascinating my whole career, is like the things that really changed my trajectory weren't like things I could have sat in a boardroom with like 5 A&Rs and been like, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna freaking do this. Like, it's always some like accidental thing that I'm like, I just treat everything like it could change my life,
See, if the labels were to listen to the artists a little bit more, they would know how to pivot, because the artist is hands-on, dealing with the fans, knowing what's working
and knowing what people
not,
are saying
and what they're saying.
Where it's going,
whereas back in the day, they didn't give a shit with the artists. They're looking at all their own analytics and not paying attention to what they are dealing with in real time.
You guys were kind of like on an interesting like cross between that because the label still had the analytics, but you guys were doing so much shows and stuff. You guys were kind of like pioneered that in a way of like just going where the listeners are taking you, not trying to like follow a radio formula.
Yeah, that was the thing, and they allowed it. You know, I was tripping that you know, a label like Sony allowed that and didn't try to like navigate the shit for us more. But you know, to their credit, they allowed us that creative freedom. Yeah, and I think that's why we end up having the longevity that we have, because they allowed us to key in on what we know was going to work for our base. Yeah, as opposed to them guessing. Yeah, because they're guessing. Yeah, they don't know like we know,
and you can't force it. So it's like they can pick all day. I've realized over the years I don't know what a hit is, because I got records every album that I'm like, this is the hit, and it's always the wrong one. It's always a different record that is the highest stream record on my last album. I recorded in my truck. I had my portable set up, and I was driving back, and I had this rap just going in my head, and I was like, I gotta pull over and record this, and I recorded on this mic in a truck. And sent it to my engineer, and he's like, "This is the best sounding one so far you sent." And I'm like, recorded it at a Pilot gas station, and like, but it ends up being the biggest song on that album, and it's like
crazy.
You can't plan stuff like that.
No.
You know? I tried left and right to like make things more catchy, and this was one that I'm like, this is gonna be an album cut. I planned for it to be an album cut,
and that's a song with a story.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's a story behind. There's the song, and then there's the story to the fucking song.
Yeah. Yeah, I literally just planned on it to be a deep cut. I was like, this is gonna be one where I'm just rapping.
You ever listen to Yacht Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know who Christopher Cross is, right? So he tells a story about writing, doing his first album, and how he was selling weed to pretty much finance his fucking album.
That's my whole story.
Yeah, and then he talks about how Ride Like the Wind, right? That he got on acid and wrote that song and recorded the fucking song.
Honestly, artists need to get back to doing acid or something.
Thank you.
You guys need to stop listening to whatever's popular and trying to make that, and just go do acid with your friends and make something weird, because that's where all our best moments come from. Like, I don't want to hear anything else that sounds.
Yeah, that's his story. He got on fucking acid. He was in Vegas, and he wrote "Ride Like the Wind" like he was a bandit on the fucking run.
Yes,
and it's one of his fucking tightest songs.
So good, love it.
Crazy, like stories to the songs.
Yeah. You know? Yeah. I was doing a similar thing with my first mixtapes. I was just didn't have a job, sold weed, spent all the weed money pressing up more albums, and I would give them out for free. Like I would go to like a Tech Nine show or like a, you know, MGK show, or just anybody that was touring in Florida, and I would just give out thousands of CDs to everybody leaving the venue.
If weed brands were smart, they would do collaborative deals with rappers, right? And say, hey, make an album, cross promote and product place our brand within your raps.
Yeah.
We'll put out the album.
Great.
We'll market it.
You got a weed brand, right?
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, I do.
What's up, dude? That's what you gotta do. I mean, okay, sounds good to me.
Stepping up, man.
No, but I gotta tell you, you know, like that's marketing that they don't even know about. Like, you know, you could totally do the version of product placement on music,
and it would be more authentic than like me just being like, smoke these vapes right here, you know. Like,
here, let me make a clip. Make a reel of you.
Whatever this brand's gonna clip this and be like, Caskey endorses Raz vapes. Or whatever.
I could see that.
You know, I realized this when you know, in doing these albums with Burner, you know, and because he's got shops and I have shops and we have strains and all that shit. And every time we'd reference one in one of the songs, and the song gets
that
out,
strand would
like,
blow
oh
up.
shit, what's that strand they were talking about? We need to go see what that is. Yeah. And then we'd hear from, you know, our peoples in the fucking stores, hey, they were looking for this. Sometimes we'd even make shit up that wasn't even out there just to see if people would go.
We're asking about it.
Yeah. And
how have you liked the journey of like not transitioning, you've always been a businessman when you do art, but like stepping into the CEO of a company or like owning a company's shoes? Like how have you liked that journey?
It's you know, it's cool with the cannabis industry, but like, man, it's a fucking headache.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather just be an artist if I'm being fucking honest. But you know, I'll say this: the fans, when you're putting out a new product, if they believe in you, they fuck with it. It's much like putting out records, you know what I'm saying, or putting out music, and trying to be consistent with that, stay in that, and giving that experience every time with whatever you're putting out. We just put out these gummies with this brand called Kana, which are really good because, like, you know, I don't really do too many edibles because
they're scary.
You know, in the gummy form, they're scary because
you could get sent on a trip. I've had some of my worst experiences eating too many gummies, and I was like, did not read the label.
But the other thing is the taste too. Some of them taste shitty. You know what I mean? And I thought, you know, if I ever do a gummy, because we've always focused on flowers, and then, you know, the storefront to put the flower in, you know, all that stuff. So edibles wasn't really a thing that I focused on, but these guys, their shit tastes really good, and it's effective, and it doesn't devastate you unless you want to take more to get devastated. You know, it's properly noted the milligrams and all that shit. So it's you know, so there's opportunities there to do some really cool collaborations, and you know, for me, like opening up shops and stuff like that, which I've paused out just because, you know, until it gets legal everywhere, and you can franchise it. It's hard to be every place at one time, making sure that, you know, this operator isn't being funny. You know what I mean?
And it's cool because it sounds like you're like approaching business like an artist, of like you're taking the way you've treated your own music, and like, let me treat business like this.
If I can't put it out, I'm not just gonna go halfway.
Yeah, well, and it's cool because it's something you actually believe in. Like I've dealt with that along the years of like people pitching me business ideas, and I'm like, I'm into like a really narrow set of things, you know. I paint, I make music, and like until I find something else that really aligns enough with me, I'm like, I don't want to branch out too much. Like, you know?
I mean, you know, branching out with too many things at once, it sort of takes you away from the music, and if that's your main passion, some of these business endeavors will do that. It'll take you away from what you feel you should.
I could have made a ton of money doing all this random stuff people suggested, but I was always like, nope, I'm gonna make songs. I'm gonna just keep making songs.
That's that commitment. That's like, you know, I don't have a fall back plan. This is it.
And I've just like put all that business acumen that I would have had like into music stuff. Like I did the $100 mixtape, like Nipsey Hussle. I did that twice and sold 1,000 copies both times. But I've like turned my art into rugs, and I sell paintings like crazy. And I've just taken that, and instead of applying it towards something that I didn't believe in at the time, I've just like figured out how to get smarter, and you know, streams aren't paying us crazy amount, you know. So it's like, let me. That's why I really appreciate anybody that ever like buys merch or anything like that. Like I still to this day ship out most of my merch orders, because it's not so overwhelming that I can't do it. But I'm like, man, let me make sure this gets to them, because I'm thankful. Because it would take 1 million streams to make what you could make selling 50 hoodies. And it's like, it's a no-brainer to me. I'm
crazy.
Like, I'm gonna sell hoodies all day.
Sell hoodies all day.
Sell hoodies and paintings all day.
Word up. We want to say salute to everybody watching right now. Much love to y'all. We're about to open up the Insane Asylum, the doors. If you got a comment, question, shout out, suggestion, we're here for it. All right, but if you haven't smashed that like yet, smash it. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Leave comments, all that. Click the notification bell so you get down with when we drop. All right, let's open it up.
Is this where I should wear the headphones?
Yeah.
Cool.
Welcome to the Insane Asylum.
Love it.
What's up, y'all?
What up?
Caskey from Tony. Caskey, how long did it take you to put out Homegrown?
Wow, he knows Homegrown. This is one of my first mixtapes, pre-streaming era. I was in like high school. I had basically like made 2 mixtapes before that were probably trash. I don't know. I thought they were sick at the time, but I was pressing up like 50 copies or so at a time, 100 copies, and giving them out in my school. Homegrown, I had met this kid, Kyle. We recorded at his house, and I did this record called High Hater that was like, became locally known. Like at the house parties, everybody would play this record, and we would I had one of my best friends at the time, TJ, shout out to TJ, used to throw these insane house parties with like hundreds of people, like in high school. And I was like fresh out of high school, I think. So we were like college parties or whatever. And, but that High Hater record started taking off, and then I just locked in and made Homegrown. And like, it was supposed to be like 2 months, but I actually got in a really gnarly motorcycle accident. And I flipped this street bike going like 70.
Whoa.
And I was in the hospital for like weeks getting these burn marks, like, you know, asphalt burn ripped off my skin. And I was put on pain meds at the time, which totally stopped my ability to write. Like, I couldn't write anything. I was like,
Shit had you stifled up.
yeah, they were giving me whatever they gave at the time, and it
Strong
just like,
shit.
blocked out all my creative energy. So it actually took me longer. What's funny is that you could probably find a video online of me in the hospital, fresh off the accident. I got a bunch of morphine in me, and I'm bloodied up in this
Caskey,
bed.
man.
And the first thing I say is, Homegrown is gonna be a little bit late. That was the only thing. I almost died, but that was the only thing on my mind was like, man, this mixtape's gonna take long. That's how much I love doing music. I was like, fuck, man.
That's some artist shit.
Yeah.
By the way, it's gonna be a little.
Yeah, didn't even shout my mom out or anybody. Let them know I was okay. I was like, my album is gonna be late, but you know. I even shot a video in the hospital. I can't find it anymore because the kids' YouTube took it down. But these kids were shooting videos, and we lied to the hospital, told them that I was a student at Full Sail, which is like a music school. And I was like, I fucked us up, and like, we're gonna fail if we don't shoot this video. And so we shot a video in the hospital to this song called Champion. I wish I could find it because it was, I'm in a wheelchair and burn wraps all over me.
Why would you?
Feeling like a champion.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. They
Pretty
bought
brilliant.
Yeah, they were like, and I was selling weed out of the hospital because I had to pay the kid back for his motorcycle because I wrecked this kid's brand new motorcycle, totaled it, and I was selling weed at the time. So I would have my plug bring me a couple P's like in the hospital in a backpack, and I would just like off them to people to try to pay off the motorcycle.
Word.
That's a good story right
That's
there.
a good
It's
story.
probably all the morphine. I was like, whatever. What are they gonna do? I'm like, yeah, what are they gonna arrest me? I'm, you know, like,
I don't do drugs.
Word up.
All right, this next one's from One Happy Mama. Seeing Caskey at the 420 Music Festival in Lansing, Michigan, where Tyson made an appearance. He puts on a dope show. Love seeing you on the show today.
I'm so glad that you liked that show because I remember that show specifically, and I was high. Everybody else was so high that I was like, "Does this show suck?" Like everybody was just like, stoned in the crowd, and like I'm used to like chaos shows. Like my shows are like a mosh pit, you know. And I was like, it was a new crowd. I was like, you know, just an artist on the thing. But I got to see Mike Tyson, which was cool.
That's the hard part about doing stoner shows is that you're not gonna get the rah shit. You know what I'm saying?
You guys figured it out somehow, though.
Well, you know, we don't have expectations of the mosh pits and the jumping around when we do like the stoner driven festival, like a high times thinger. We know that they're high as fuck.
Dude, they're so stoned.
So they're gonna sway, they might put their hands up.
That was exactly it. I'm glad she came in here because I've thought for years that was my worst show ever. I was like, everybody was so high. I was like,
oh, that's how they do. Like Lil Wayne went and did the High Tide Cannabis Cup, right? They have so what they do, well, what they were doing back then was throwing this big, you know,
I remember that
Cannabis Cup deal, and the music, you know, is second. It's like a bonus there. So
people are at the weed stands trying out a new flavor.
They're more worried about the weed shit, and by the time the music comes, they're high as fuck. So, you know, Lil Wayne, they got him to come because he's a weed head. They paid him enough money, and he went there, and it was crowded. It was packed as fuck, but he couldn't get them jumping or doing nothing crazy.
He left.
And he dropped the mic and left and said he would never come back and do it again. But that's because he didn't like read the room. You know what I mean? If he had read the room and known this is a stoner crowd, they don't move. You just have yourself a good time. Don't try to do too much.
Yeah.
That's it.
Be locked in.
That's it.
Give them a show and then go. You know what I mean? And we had to learn that ourselves because we would have that
Take
in the
offense to it. Yeah.
we'd have that in the back of our mind, like when we would do stoner-driven events. If they weren't bouncing or going crazy,
they
we're
hate
like,
us. Sometimes I wish I could take on the like aura of people like Wayne or people that just leave shows. I've never done that. I'm like, if it's a bad show, I'm still gonna rock out to the
Thank
end. 'Cause
you.
I'm like,
Yeah.
but sometimes I look at artists like that. I'm like, man, I wish I was that cool. Or I could just be like, fuck this, I'm leaving. But you know, I'm sure people enjoy the experience more when you stay and give it your all.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, the weed heads are absorbing it in a different way.
Nah, fact.
Right?
Yeah.
They're like not trying to do the mosh pit shit. They're like just I'm absorbing this. Where the mosh heads, they're absorbing and the physicality of it, right?
Yeah.
It's
No,
two completely different fucking crowds.
No, I get it because I'm a Virgo, so this is what I look like having the best time of my life.
Word.
Yeah.
Just like I
know
my
you
girl will be
Virgo.
like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm having a great time." What? And
Thank
it's
you,
like my
Caskey.
face is mostly like this all
Yeah.
the time.
Thank you, Caskey. Yeah.
Word up. All right. Next one.
Next one, tattoos by Fabian. Happy Tuesday, y'all. Want to salute everybody at the table and also salute our Florida native Caskey.
Yes, sir.
Been a fan since he first signed the Cash Money back in the day. Black Sheep all day.
Thanks for
Salute
rocking
to Be
with
Real.
me. Yeah, thanks for rocking with me, dude.
That's right.
Yeah, Black Sheep's my thing. I gotta send you some Black Sheep gear, dude.
That's what's up.
Bring it.
Arizona Desert Eagle, 520. I fucks with Caskey tough.
Word.
Boom.
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 Shout out to Arizona. Heck yeah.
Hey, let me know when we got like a 10-minute mark, and I'm gonna smoke this. But I don't want to get out.
I think she starts sparking up now.
Start
You got 5 minutes.
start rambling about the fact that I'm in a skin suit and I'm hanging out with Be Real and like I'm gonna die one day. That's
It's in a skin suit. What dog? I'm done. Caskey word.
You've been talking too much, Doobie.
I'm sorry.
That was obviously a joke. All right, go ahead.
Alberto Jr., Be Real. I just found out that EBS lives 6 minutes from me.
The Boogie Down Bronx, B.
Hey, yo.
That's where he's originally from, but he might be in Jersey now. Where are you at? Are you in the Bronx?
Shout out to
Is EBS still in the Bronx?
Medicine. Has Caskey ever seen anything paranormal?
This is a ongoing question that they ask here.
Yeah, I'm super into paranormal stuff. I go on ghost tours all the time, and like when I'm in random cities, like a hobby of mine. Actually, one that it was paranormal, but it wasn't scary. We were at my wife's parents' house. They live on this like small farm in the middle of nowhere, and their other relative lives like behind on a neighboring property. He had just passed away. Andy had passed away, and he used to play harmonica. Me and my wife are out back. This is like last year. And I remember this more vividly than anything. I'm out back, and there's nothing for a long stretch of, property. And behind there's another farm, so there's nothing around there. And my wife and I hear this harmonica playing like it's 15 feet in front of us. And there's nothing. There's no woods. Nobody came over. And we're listening, and we both look at each other. It's the first time I've experienced something paranormal with another person. And I got to confirm, and I'm like, "Are you hearing this right now?" And she's like, "Yeah." And we're like, we went over and looked at it, and it faded away at some point. And I don't know how to explain that.
That was that guy's energy still there.
And it was loud. It was like really obvious.
Wow.
It wasn't obscure, like somebody was playing music a mile. No,
you
it was-
clearly could hear that.
It was right here.
Wow, that's
It
crazy.
tripped me out. Yeah, I wonder what happens when we die. I'm gonna start thinking about that when I smoke. All right, let's get this on camera. I'm gonna smoke with Cypress Hill.
All right.
Let's go. Because what do I know? I don't know shit.
None of us do.
One Happy Mama. 5150s need a Be Real Caskey collab ASAP.
Oh, yeah.
What's up, dude? I see your studio back there.
They definitely make that happen.
That's sick.
I would be honored, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, we got to do something.
It's funny. I was listening to some shit today, and I was just like, man, this is like one person I'm actually would be nervous to hang in the booth with because you just stylistically are sick.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm nervous with everybody.
Yeah, glad it doesn't go away.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
no.
true.
I'm like, oh, shit, they're listening out there. Hold up.
Who you're most nervous with, B?
Who was I most nervous with? Probably Dr. Dre.
Ooh. Jesus.
That was pretty fucking nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
I could see if he was not in the room when I was dropping the vocals and he was in another room. But no, he was in the room.
That's a good reason. Yeah,
That's like,
pretty valid.
okay, I got to be on my shit. Like,
yeah, I hate
top.
recording in front of anybody. Anyways, I like
Yeah.
still to this day, I'm like, leave me alone. Let me make ugly faces and, and like make something sound like shit at her. Because a lot of times I'm like figuring it out on the mic too. Like,
Yeah.
I do a lot of because I record myself. A lot of times I'm just like writing as I'm recording.
Right.
And so I'm like, if I say something stupid, don't be in here thinking this is what the song's about to sound like. Give me some time. I promise I'm gonna bring it to a better place.
This is just the skeleton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This next one's from Fresh Co for Live. I really want to thank you guys. Love you, Caskey. B and Caskey need a song, dude.
Yeah, that's 2.
Keep saying
2.
that. If we get to 10,
Manifestations.
he's gonna be like, let's do it.
Make a free bird 420. Hi, Caskey.
What's up?
Brian
Anything else to it? Nope. Just what up? What up?
Brian Math 393. Caskey is a dope rapper for real, for real.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm just gonna work on my self confidence later. Be like, you know what? I ain't so bad.
Yeah. That's right.
Rand 616. Watch yourself in Nashville. High Nas be drugging fools.
What?
He says the chicks
he
be
say?
drugging
What'd he say?
dudes out there in Nashville.
Oh. I thought you said I drug people. I'm like, I don't even do drugs.
No, like, because there's a bunch of bars out there.
Yeah, that's why I don't go doing that.
Yeah.
Yep, I be to myself.
That's everywhere right now. Though.
Dude, it's terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
What the hell? And everything has freaking fentanyl in it.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Buds 1. Dope. Caskey a G. Had to swing by real quick, but I'll be watching the rerun, fella. Same team.
Hell yeah, thanks for stopping by.
It's only right.
We got Greñas. Some people.
Yeah. Some people.
Double M713. Cass. Any wild story? Keep it on the low.
I got wild stories for days from tours. Which one you want, dude? I got arrested in Sioux Falls one time, South Dakota. We got pulled over for weed, and they searched our bus, and I happened to have a necklace that a fan gave me. And the way they gave it to me, I thought it was like their grandma's ashes, because they were like, dude, you changed my life, blah, 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 blah. And I get pulled over. They arrest us for weed. They take the necklace, test positive for cocaine.
Oh,
I get a cocaine charge in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Cocaine necklace?
Felony, dude.
Oh, man. That's a new one.
That's why part of the reason I can't go to Canada.
The cocaine necklace did you in.
Dude, it was bullshit. Because I thought I was going to bond right in and out, and then I get in there like, positive for cocaine. You're going to be in here all night. I'm like, oh, fuck, dude. I got a show tomorrow.
In the fucking necklace.
It was like this much, too. It was like
man.
a half bump. Like, it was nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Man. They just wanted to make you an example.
I'm just.
You missed your show?
I actually made the show. I was late.
Yes.
I got bonded out like the next day, midday, and then we hauled ass, and I think I was only like an hour late from the supposed start time, and so we still did the whole show. Yeah. But don't ever give me a necklace ever.
No more cocaine necklaces.
Jeez.
You don't want no part of that
I don't
shit.
want no part of that.
We got Psycho Stench. Caskey, dead or alive, who's your #1 dream collab?
Dang, dead or alive? It's gonna be dead, just because I could probably make a dream collab happen. I've always wanted to feature with Anthony Green. He's a singer of a band called Circus Survive. Love them. But Biggie Smalls, dude. Ready to Die album. So cool. Yeah.
Kick ass. Tony. Caskey put the hash hole down real quick.
I'm high already, dude. What the hell? I hit this thing 3 times, dude. I won't be smoking anymore.
Yeah, you don't need any more than that. If you haven't been smoking,
dude,
3 hits is good for you.
I'm be high all day, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Save it for later.
Got the last super chat with Karina. Karina, yo B, Dios bendiga. Got my CD and vinyl today. Been listening to it all day. Can't pick a fave song yet.
All right.
Album is fire.
Let's go.
Thank you very much.
Waiting to see which song will be in my head while I'm trying to sleep. Much love to all.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And salute to all y'all. We're giving away another vinyl this Friday. Hashtag super chat hashtag Cypress for your chance to win that. And then we're gonna pop this off right here. Serial Killer's new vinyl right here. These just came in. They're gonna be available on BREALTV website right here. The Serial Killer vinyl.
That is cold.
All right, just so you know, it does exist. This is not AI.
Thank God.
That's real shit over here, man.
That's dope, B. Dope.
I didn't want to have to pull it out to sleep, but I did.
You had to. Come on.
You know, this is
Color
back.
of the vinyl's awesome.
Ooh, look at that. Come on, son.
Yup.
Yeah. Dope.
So, yeah. Hashtag, super chat hashtag Cypress for your chance to get this vinyl and the Dios Bendiga on Friday. There it is. And we want to thank all y'all for sitting in with us today. Caskey for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
First of
brother.
many times, sir.
Yes,
Heck
sir.
yeah,
I'll be
Caskey.
back, man.
Word up. You got any shout outs you want to give?
Dude, just my new album's on the way. More alive than ever. My new song, One Eye Open. I don't know what day this is live, right?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. It's out Friday.
Right
One
on.
One Eye Open, dude.
Get
Some
that.
punk rock shit for y'all. Yeah, new music on the way, man.
That's what's up, man. Friday. Go get that. Rah, rah.
Shout out to God. Thank you, Dominator. And shout out to you, Caskey. Nice having you, man.
Dude, hell yeah. Thank y'all so much for the hospitality, the weed, and the good stories to add to my dad lore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Doobie.
Oh, just big shout out to Caskey for sharing the stories, man. The wild stories were dope. And UB, Ray, Dominator, of course, Dro, Aton, Strong One, C-, Blaze, the whole Dr. Greenthumb. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Word. Love you guys.
Shout out to God's Plan. Swallow that.
BREALTV.